There's a certain kind of person who goes quiet in a loud room, not because they're shy, not because they have nothing to say, but because their mind is somewhere the conversation hasn't reached yet. Most people look at that and call it aloof, distant, maybe even arrogant. But neuroscience tells a very different story. Because the brain of a highly intelligent person doesn't just work harder. It's wired differently, and that wiring shapes everything about how they think, feel, and connect. By the end of this video, you'll understand what's actually happening inside a high IQ mind, the hidden strengths, the silent costs, and the one trait researchers say matters more than raw intelligence itself. High intelligence shows up in every culture, every generation, every walk of life. It isn't about fancy degrees or a perfect memory. You've met these people. The friend who asks the question no one else thought of. The colleague who solves the problem 3 steps before everyone else gets there. The one who can't stop thinking, even when they desperately wish they could. For decades, scientists assumed a smarter brain was simply a busier brain. More activity, more effort, more fireworks. Then neuroscientist Richard Heyer put highly intelligent people into brain scanners and found the opposite of what everyone expected. We're going to walk through 7 things neuroscience reveals about the high IQ mind. Some will surprise you. A few might describe someone you love. And the last one changes how we should think about intelligence completely. Let's start with the discovery that flipped everything. A high IQ brain is often a calmer brain. When Richard Heyer scanned people solving hard problems, the smartest ones used less energy, not more. Their brains lit up softer, more efficiently, like a well-tuned engine that doesn't have to roar to move fast. Scientists named this the neural efficiency hypothesis. Intelligence isn't about a brain working overtime, it's about a brain that wastes almost nothing. Think about what that means. The brilliant mind found the shortcut, so it stopped burning fuel on the parts that don't matter. It already trimmed away the noise. While everyone else is straining, it's coasting. So that calm, unbothered look a brilliant person gets when everyone else is panicking, that's not detachment, that's a mind doing more with less. But efficiency is only half the story. Because what makes that engine run so clean is how it's built. Intelligence lives in the wiring, not just the size. Neuroscientists Rex Jung and Richard Heyer mapped this in what they call the P-fit theory, the idea that intelligence comes from how powerfully the front of the brain talks to the back. The richer those connections, the faster ideas travel between regions that normally stay separate. It's why brilliant people link things no one else would dream of, connecting a song and a math equation, a memory, and a stranger's face. It's not that they're trying to be clever, the bridges are simply already built. So a thought that starts in one corner of the mind sets off a chain reaction across the whole thing in a fraction of a second. This is why a high IQ mind feels different from the inside. Ideas don't arrive in a line. They arrive all at once, tangled and electric. That same wiring, though, comes with a hidden quirk, one that makes smart people look slow when they're anything but. Highly intelligent people are not always fast. On the hardest problems, they actually take longer to answer. A 2021 study led by researchers Michael Scherner and Petra Ritter found that smarter people's brains literally slowed down on complex tasks, pausing to weigh possibilities instead of leaping to the first answer. Their neurons waited for more information before committing. The result wasn't hesitation, it was accuracy. So when a brilliant person goes quiet mid-question, they're not stuck. They're running the simulation no one else can see. And here's where the misunderstanding begins, the one that hurts them most. What looks like coldness is often the opposite. Psychologist Kazimierz Dabrowski described what he called over-excitabilities, the tendency of gifted minds to feel everything more intensely. Sound is louder, beauty is sharper. A small injustice can ache for days. Their nervous system runs at a higher volume, so a crowded room or an offhand comment hits harder than anyone realizes. And because they feel it so deeply, they often learn to hide it. The flat expression isn't emptiness, it's a dam, holding back far more than the people around them will ever guess. So when a smart person pulls back from the noise, it's not that they feel too little, it's that they feel far, far too much. If you're the kind of person who looks past how someone acts and wonders what's really going on underneath and you're still here, that tells me something about you. It would mean a lot if you hit subscribe. We break down the real psychology behind how people think and feel, explained in a way that finally makes sense. Now, the part of high intelligence almost no one talks about. A sharper mind comes with a heavier weight. Researchers Alexander Penny and Jeremy Koplan have found a striking link between high verbal intelligence and chronic worry. The same brain that connects everything can't stop connecting everything, including all the ways a situation might go wrong. Smart people don't just think more. They anticipate more, replaying conversations and forecasting disasters that may never come. A throwaway comment from this morning gets dissected at midnight. A simple choice becomes a maze of every possible outcome. The mind that solves problems so well turns that same power inward, and there's no off switch. So if someone brilliant tells you their mind never rests, believe them. The gift and the burden share the same wiring. But why is that wiring there at all? The answer goes all the way down. At the root of high intelligence is a craving. Psychologist Colin DeYoung links intelligence to the brain's dopamine system, the same chemistry that drives us toward reward. In high IQ minds, the reward isn't food or status. It's understanding. Their brains release that hit of satisfaction when they learn something new, which means boredom isn't just unpleasant for them, it's almost painful. It's the same drive that makes a child take apart a toy just to see how it works. That child never really grows out of it. The questions just get bigger, and the hunger only sharpens with age. This is why brilliant people abandon easy paths and chase difficult ones. They're not being difficult. They're feeding something the rest of us feed with comfort. Which brings us to the last one, and honestly, the most important. The real mark of intelligence isn't what you know, it's the ability to change your mind. Neuroscientist Stephen Fleming studies metacognition, the brain's power to think about its own thinking. The highest functioning minds aren't the ones that are always right. They're the ones that notice when they're wrong and rewire. Thanks to neuroplasticity, the brain keeps reshaping itself for life, and intelligent people lean into that. They update, they question themselves, they grow. This is the part that's strangely freeing. It means intelligence isn't a fixed score you're handed at birth. It's a muscle, and the people who use it best are the ones humble enough to admit how much they still don't know. That's the trait that outlasts raw IQ, not certainty flexibility. The quiet willingness to look at what you believed yesterday and say, maybe there's more. So the next time someone goes quiet in a loud room, the one everyone calls distant, you'll know what you might actually be looking at. You could be looking at a brain that does more with less. One wired to connect what others keep apart. One that slows down to get it right, feels the world at full volume, and carries a quiet weight for the price of seeing so clearly. High intelligence was never about having all the answers. It's about a mind that never stops reaching for better ones and has the courage to keep changing itself along the way. If this made you see the people in your life a little differently, I made another video on the hidden inner world of deep thinkers that I think will hit just as hard. It's right here when you're ready.